Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have 3 articles ready for you here. And these 3 articles are from yesterday and today are meant to confirm to a certain extent things that I've been claiming for some time. And they are, I think this is a system made by them for them, and from every 4 years they ask us to validate and confirm, participate, legitimize their system, and it is the elections, our democracy. As a free human being, if I'm really free, I should be free to entertain whatever ideas I have and share it without being afraid of negative punishments, as long as there are threats, instigation to violence, things like this, or certain kind of porn, and understand? Okay, now, before I go to the 3 articles, I would like to set the premises or set the foundation of this conversation. We in America, the greatest country in the world, we're told, and we teach our children in school, and we are all told that there's no wrong question. So that tries to promote the idea that asking questions, as stupid as they might appear to be or really are, it's not wrong to ask questions. Well, I learned that on direct experience. Maybe at the end of this video I will share that experience with me for the US government. My questions were wrong from the get-go. So it's not about me here, it's about asking some questions regarding our system using 3 articles. First question: do you think that if there's unrest in this country due to the elections, do you think that the guys in charge of us could use the military to shoot at the people that are going to, have an unrest? Do you think they will do that? Do you think they will be criminal like that? Or we're not North Korea, China, Russia, and the communists? Well, I will show you 3 compelling, at least 2, let's put it this way, let me make sure. 2 compelling articles where you could find some evidence that would make you think. So, democracy is preserved at the end of a barrel. Let me show you the first article. Concerning, not for me. For me, it's a confirmation. You can say, well, it's a confirmation bias. Call it how the hell ever you want. This is the first article. The new voice of Ukraine. Over 20 states ready to deploy National Guard if Washington, D.C. unrest erupts. So remember when there was the insurrection on January 6th and Trump says, okay, how about we send the National Guard over there to protect the Capitol? Remember what Pelosi and others said? Pelosi. Remember? The millionaire, multimillionaire Pelosi. All right, do you remember when there were those mostly peaceful protests in Black Lives Matter and all that in just before the elections? Did they send the National Guard? Nah. Do you remember those people who illegally trespass over our southern border? That doesn't require 20 states to deploy National Guards. But this definitely does. So do you think they will do anything if things escalate? That's a question. I was taught that I'm supposed to teach my children and speak about no question is wrong. That means ask questions. Next article that I think would exemplify the same thing. And these guys are promoting this. So the baboons get scared. All right, here it is. Fuck around and find out. End quote. Philadelphia DA issues warning to election obstructors. And here, all this article, we have Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner issued a clear message to potential election obstructors on Monday, November 3rd, warning troublemakers. And I'm quoting, fuck around and find out. What do you mean? You're going to shoot at us? You're going to shoot at anybody who's going to do anything that is obstructor? Anybody who thinks it's time to play militia, fuck around and find out. These guys, I like that. I like this. I like when the government steps in and keeps the order. But I don't like when it does it selectively. So you lost all your trust or your imperium when you are selectively sending and fuck around. Why didn't they do the same thing with the Black Lives Matter? There were not protesters. I saw videos. Or in Kenosha. What was that? Wisconsin or whatever it was. Why not? That's selective. And take only Wisconsin or Minnesota or whatever it was. Or Oregon. Remember those in Seattle and in Portland, Oregon? Breaking? As I say, that could have been solved in about 20 minutes. They can do it, and they will do it. So in all this article right here, with the fuck around and you find out, there's no hint that, wait a minute, government, wait a minute. Nothing. It's promoted. Why? It's a warning. You can say, well, goddamn, it's a warning, Emil. Why was there no warning then? With burning or destroying, defacing, is that how we call it, our state statues, our heritage, our history. Why was there not someone coming and saying that? Trump said it, and the media was on him like flies around sugar. I was about to say something else, but that would imply that he is shit. Now, and I'm going to show you the last article, which I think I made this point, or not point, I asked questions. And this is an analysis coming from the evil Russians. Now, please ignore the messenger. Just get the, is that food for thought? Here is the article. From Sputnik. US elections purportedly controlled by intelligence agencies. Author. Do you trust that? Do you believe that? I don't know. I ask question. Is it true? So let's see what what evidence he provides, if there's any evidence, to support his allegations, his statements. Washington's intelligence agencies are, according to this guy, quote unquote, running the elections in the United States, claims American political scientist and best-selling conservative author Dr. Jerome Corsi, who points at what he describes as the discovery of certain, quote unquote, algorithms within the State Board of Election and Voter Registration databases. I made some statements and claims, asked some questions regarding the voting machines. Remember that? I made a few videos on that one with the voting machines and the electronic and programs. Remember? Now this guy says something similar, it seems, like it doesn't mean we are right. We just ask questions. This political scientist and best-selling conservative author claims that Washington's intelligence agencies are, quote unquote, running the elections in the United States, claims this guy, American political scientist and best-selling conservative author, who pointed as he describes the discovery of certain algorithms within a State Board of Elections and Voter Registration database. According to him, Andrew Paquette, computer graphics artist and a real genius in terms of computer work, and I'm quoting, found patterns in the New York voter registration files maintained by the State Board of Elections, end quote. I'm not supporting this, I'm not endorsing this, YouTube, I'm just reporting. And free speech allows me to report, as far as I remember. These, and I'm quoting, these are actual records from which voting occurs, and he found that they had been arranged mathematically so as to hide data. And as he began to get into the system and figure out the patterns, he actually came up with the equation, the algorithms that are involved in assigning voter IDs to the voters in New York. End quote. Dr. Corsi elaborated. Oh, he's a doctor, so we're screwed. Right? This scheme, which he suggests, is designed to allow its perpetrators, we don't know who they are, to, and I'm quoting, insert voters who do not exist, end quote, is so, and I'm quoting again, complicated mathematically, end quote, that it, and I'm quoting again, I have to say all these things for YouTube, okay, has to be an intelligence operation, end quote, he suggests, right there. And I'm quoting, it's designed to be hidden. It would be costly to put it in place. It would require a clandestine group to get access to the State Board of Education computers so that they can embed these codes and make the database work the way they want it to work, hiding data. And I think, according to these guys, we're finding these algorithms is virtually every state we're looking at, and they've been there since 2007. Dr. Corsi warns. Dr. Corsi claims that the perpetrators of this scheme aimed to, quote-unquote, rearrange voter data so that a voter's number isn't tied to their registration date. A mass of non-existent voters, numbering in the hundreds of thousands, non-existent but officially registered nonetheless, allegedly exist in the state registration databases. And I'm quoting this guy, Dr. Corsi. What happens is that voter appears to be a real person. You've got a certifiable vote even though the person doesn't exist, end quote, says Dr. Corsi. You can say this is a Russian KGB job on our democracy, an attack on our democracy. Well, if that's so, I'm just alerting you, making you aware we are under attack by the evil Russians again. Don't believe anything here, over there. To influence elections, perpetrators allegedly use algorithms to identify and cast mail-in ballots for these quote-unquote ghost voters. Dr. Corsi, crazy guy, claims the mainstream media avoids reporting this because it is quote-unquote controlled by the CIA. Oh my God, this is really crazy. Not true. He also claims that the US mainstream media does not want this. All right. Any US election can purportedly be stolen via, quote, ghost voters. And this is what Corsi says. The US Democratic Party seems to be, quote-unquote, done with elections. And the CIA, and I'm quoting again, doesn't want any elections anymore, laments Dr. Corsi, with a veritable army of army of ghost, quote-unquote, voters being hidden in voter registration databases. He claims the people who organized this scheme could perpetrate, and I'm quoting, massive stealing of any elections, end quote, they desire. That's a lie, Dr. Corsi. Fuck off. That's a lie. And I'm quoting, the scheme here, the nefarious part of the scheme I'm describing is that these criminals controlling the State Board of Election voter rolls clandestinely can put these non-existent voters into the data set and get away with it because these people have real legitimate numbers, end quote, he explains. And I'm quoting again. These non-existent people have real legitimate numbers issued by the State Board of Elections to vote. And so, therefore, when they vote these mail-in ballots, the scheme is largely a mail-in ballot scheme. They vote that number which is certifiable, end quote. And challenging the certificatable vote, Dr. Corsi points out, is very difficult in US because it essentially amounts to claiming that, and I'm quoting, the certification was wrong, which is difficult to prove. I said that, but hey, we're crazy, both of us. And I'm quoting, the courts don't want to hear these cases because it's political. Our courts consider our elections political. They don't want to resolve a political question, he adds, end quote. And I'm quoting again, I'm asking questions about the future. Me too, Dr. Corsi. I'm with you, or you're with me, because I said this before you were promoted here. I know when you came with these crazy ideas, man. But hey, these are questions. And I'm quoting, Dr. Corsi says, and I'm quoting, I'm saying now, many illegal votes, are we going to get these coming up elections? Question mark. Why are these algorithms there? Who put them there? They've been there since 2007. We can tell that from the computer records. Have they been used in past elections? I don't know, but I'm questioning. Well. Quote, and I'm now, CIA quality encryption involved in alleged ghost voter scheme in the US. Well, I don't know if that's true. The algorithm allegedly employed in a scheme to conceal thousands of fake voters in the US state voter registration databases are way too complex to be pulled by, and I'm quoting, some kid with a computer in his father's garage, end quote, argues Dr. Crazy Corsi. And I'm quoting again, this is a CIA quality encryption, end quote. He alleges, and I'm quoting again, this is the kind of encryption you would do if you were running a military and you're putting an army in the field and you want your army to communicate on a code. You would do algorithms and cryptography so the enemy couldn't read the code, end quote. According to him, the people who snuck these reported fake voters into registration databases and know how to locate these voters can thus procure mail-in ballots, and I'm quoting, that can be certified because the numbers match even though the voters voter doesn't exist. So this is more and more and more. What do you think? It's not just questions, and allegations, crazy allegations. Questions, allegations, crazy. Now let me tell you my story. When I got the job for the government, you go to a training, and in the training you have trainers, and those trainers, they have how do you call it? PowerPoint exposures and presentations, and you ask questions if you are really interested in what they say. If not, you just look at your laptop or telephone and fuck them. Well, I was very interested. Okay, maybe I was more interested than they expected. That's the word. So I asked 2 questions. They were related to the forced integration of the Indian Americans into the European society. Remember those boarding houses? You know, the children of the Indian Americans here, they were lumped in and they were taught this and they were taught that, and they were taught, I don't know, to add, I guess, I don't know, things like this. And they were telling us about the horrible abuse those children were exposed to. That was true. That was true. My question was, so were there any benefits for those children being forced in those boarding houses? Any benefits they can think? Or it was all bad? I mean, she was an African-American trainer, very well dressed, but not informed and dumb. That was my... But she was our trainer. She was making a lot of money teaching us. All right? So she said, what do you mean? What do you mean? I said, I know. Maybe in those boarding schools, I know, I acknowledge there was abuse and bad, forcefully and so on. But don't you think that maybe they were taught how to brush their teeth? Maybe they were, I don't know, thought about the linear passage of time instead of, let's say, Hopi circular passing of time. I knew things that she did not even in 5 generations get to know. And I said, don't you think that maybe they learned some arithmetics, some things about the nature, the phenomena around us, what rain and so, and she said, that's preposterous, blah, blah, blah. What do you mean? I said, I did not deny, I said before, that there was abuse and all that. But my question was, do you think it was 100% bad and it was nothing? Nothing? They benefited? My question was wrong. You know what she did? She reported me to the supervisor. And the supervisor talked to me. Well, I was in very good relations with the supervisor, and he talked to me like, I have to do this. What did you say? And I said, I asked a question. I asked actually 2 questions. 2 questions, I said. And these guys did not like my question, and they reported me. Because in the job I was doing, I could be portrayed as being not even flexible, because, dubious, think too much, don't follow the order of diversity, inclusion, and equity, and follow their thing. I knew too much. Remember when Rudolf Hess, that bad guy, said in his diary, while he was in Nuremberg trials, he wrote over there, today I met a person who knows too little. That means too dumb. That's exactly what happened to me. And he did that, Rudolf Hess did that when he was interrogated by an American colonel. Beaten, and I don't know if he was beaten actually. All right. So he said, I was asked questions, interrogated by a man who knows too little. That means, boy. The same with this trainer. So, direct experience. And he said, the supervisor, keep your mouth shut. We're going to both get in trouble. And I keep my mouth shut. Why? At that time, I said, well, let's figure out what I can find out more about these people. And I met that baboon. Oh, she came and talked to me after that, after the session. She came and talked to me, and she was very concerned. I said, who the fuck are you to be concerned? Is it true what I said? Is it true? Who are you? You don't know any... That's exactly how I talked to her. You don't... She said, I have to report you. I said, for what? You want to destroy my career? My employment? For what exactly? For asking a question with evidence? For asking a question, the wrong question? She didn't care. I was her enemy. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. I have her name.